sitting down with Dory Halbe, the Silver One coach at the Georgetown Prep location for Nation's Capital. I'm super excited to talk to you about a pretty specific topic. I did a podcast kind of recently, and in it, I was presented with the idea of a parent practice where of any sports team, parents come to the workout and they join their athletes, their children in the workout. And then Dory emails SwimSwam and says, hey, we do that. We've done that at NCAP before. We've had a parent swim practice. It sounds super fun. First of all, can you just tell me how this started and what you were going for by inviting parents to come join their 6 to 8 year olds at a swim practice?
Yeah, it started a couple years before the pandemic, and we were trying to get a way for parents to be kind of involved in their child swimming. And I think a lot of parents ask a lot of questions and have no idea what goes into a swim practice or why a kid's not fixing a specific stroke correction or whatever that is. And so me and my assistant coach at the time, Jordan Mattern, were like, well, what if we invite them to the practice and kind of make it a all encompassing, bring everyone together kind of practice, get to know the parents too, because it was important for us to get to know them. And so in the summertime, we rent outdoor pools, and oftentimes there's summer league pools. So we thought, well, this would be the perfect time. It's a shallow pool, so if they can't swim, they could walk. They can stand up, they can walk, they can kick. And we just kind of brought them in, and we did a whole practice. We did it. It was a big success. And they did a warm up, a little drill set with the parents, which was hilarious because we gave them drills and they were like, we have no idea how to do this. And so it was really successful. And it was great because the kids swam great. I mean, they were like, Mom and Dad are here where they're watching me. I gotta look good, They swam fast. They got really into it. We had a wide range of, completely embarrassed that their mom or dad was there, to really, really excited. And then the next year it was, I had parents actually asking us, when's the parent practice? Like, I heard this was a thing. I want to go. So we did it again, and then we did the year after that, and then the pandemic hit. So we had to make some adjustments. Obviously, couldn't have people in the practice. So we'll probably bring it back again this year. I just kind of, in the pandemic craziness, forgot about doing it. And I coach older kids now, but I'm sure our younger kid coach would love to do it again. And I think he actually came to one of them because he is a parent of a couple swimmers. So we did like a warm up, like we did like a, 200, and the parents just did 100. And I told them, I said, anything you can't do, you obviously don't have to do it. Like if you can't do butterfly, don't do butterfly. If you can't, but if you do, some parents were former swimmers and they were like, yeah, I want to go. Let's go. Like, let's race the 910s. So it was super fun. And we did a bunch of drills. So like freestyle progression drill, like side kicking, shark drill, all that kind of stuff. And the feedback I got from the parents a lot was, wow, this is a lot harder than it looks. And I was like, yes, it is. So it just created a great community of, this is what your kid does, right? It's really difficult. It's hard for parents. It's hard for kids. And it was just a lot of fun all around. And then at the very end, we did relays. So we did, one parent on a relay, and we did some run dives, which was hilarious because some parents didn't really wear appropriate suits and had to like opt out. Like, I'm going to sit out. So that was funny. And yeah, a lot of parents like actively asked for it every year. A lot of kids took a lot of pride in their parents coming. Yeah.
Wow. That sounds awesome. I would love to I want to do a practice in pancakes parent edition.
Yes. Wow. I was trying to think of it for like older kids. Like, how could I do it with like an older group of swimmers or senior kids after hearing the podcast? And, I think you could always just bring them in the last 30 minutes, give them 3 lanes for warm up and just run relays with them. And I think it's a lot more eye-opening when you're swimming next to your kid and they're very far ahead of you in a lot of situations. I mean, maybe not all. I'm sure there's some parents that can throw down, but
right. I mean, it it never ceases to amaze me how some people are just natural swimmers and like
Yeah.
they'll be in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and it's still like you're really fast.
Killing it. Yeah, we had
uh,
a lot of fast parents on our team too that I think
I'm
would.
I'm sure, especially in that area in the the DC Virginia area, but I love the fact that you did drills with them too. You know, it's like
Yeah.
it's not just like, oh, we're training hard, we're gonna work. It's like they're doing the little things that do
Mhm.
add up and make a difference with technique and with racing. And they, you know, even those, it's like, oh wow, this is really hard. This
Yeah.
is like pretty tough to manage. I what what feedback from the parents do you feel like you got, just in terms of, you know, did they did they hassle you less
Yes.
moving forward, right? Did
Yeah.
they, you know, were they appreciative of this perspective that they were given?
Yeah, I think a lot of them were, a lot of I think the feedback more was, largely, "Thanks for allowing me to do something with my kid that I know that they love to do." And I think that was the biggest take home from it was, I think parents often struggle of how to be involved. They don't know or they didn't swim. They have no idea about the
Mhm.
swimming world or the swimming culture or what is normal, what's expected, um, besides timing and officiating, and bringing donuts after practice. So it was a fun way to get them involved, very, very involved, and make it more relatable. And so when you're giving a feedback or a stroke correction, because that's usually the biggest comments is, "Hey, Johnny still is not in a streamline." It's like, yeah, we understand. We know Johnny's not in a streamline, but we're working on it. It was good for them to kind of get in the water and be like, wow, this is a lot harder to do this than I thought it would be. Or I got a lot of feedback that, I did a 50 and I'm exhausted. Like, so so I think people who are not in the swimming world, I think always think, "Oh, I could do that." I think every swimmer has had a friend that's like, "I could do that," and they can't or they don't really understand the the depth of, how hard it actually can be. So, I mainly wanted to do drills because I knew that would be a really easy way to do 25s and not have to, tire some people out. Some parents couldn't really swim, so they ended up kicking it, and took it as like an exercise, like their little workout class for the day. So there was that, and I think a lot of parents, did some different strokes. Like some people tried fly for the first time, so that was really fun, and it was really more fun for the kids because they were like, "Look at you! Told you can't swim butterfly," or "I told you." Like it was a good dialogue and communication, and we got to know the parents a lot better. Besides just the welcome meeting and the typical back and forth on decks or seeing them outside of practice. So that
Yeah.
was
So if X other club team was going to host a parent practice, do you
yeah.
have any tips or do you have any pointers of like, hey, you know, maybe we tried this and it worked really well, or we tried this and I might stay away from it.
Yeah. I would definitely keep it a small group. A small group would be best because, we just did our 10 under group. So there was maybe 20 kids there. Anything over that, if you have multiple groups running at the same time, you get a lot of people in a wide variety of swimming. So just the organization of that would be kind of difficult. I'd also pick a pool that probably has a shallow side. So if your
Mm,
pool is really deep, that's going to be really intimidating for some parents that don't know how to swim or can't swim very well. So we had a pool that fortunately was very shallow the whole time. So if they had to stand up, they could. There was a lot of standing. So, or water running. There was a couple people that just ran
right.
across the pool for fun. And I think that you have to think about what your expectations are. We knew that practice wasn't going to be a fast practice. It wasn't going to be it was
We're not
test
going
practice.
threshold today.
No, we're not getting no, we're not doing pace. Like it was, we knew it was kind of early in the summertime, so parents got to, get in, and just work on basics of swimming. So I'd recommend, making sure the pool is kind of appropriate for a parent and providing a lot of kickboards and always plan for a relay because that was the best part of the end.